Let me start recording.
Yeah, I didn't know if you wanted me to dial in as the host or not, so I just.
Oh no, that's fine. I'm just gonna change it over and make you a host because I won't be on here. I'm just gonna give it over to you. So now you're the host. Good morning. Good morning. Good evening, Pam, Chris, Luz. How are y'all?
Fine, and you?
I'm good, thank you. Okay, so let me set everybody else a reminder and let them know that we're live, even though they do have 5 minutes. But Ms. Bryant, it is all yours.
Okay, great. Um, I'll hopefully my puppies will be good tonight while we're on. I'm sort of having to babysit. Normally my mom does that, but she's in critical care unit, so maybe they'll be good while I'm on here with y'all tonight. So maybe a few more I jump on, and then I'll tell y'all a little bit about myself before we get started. Y'all are welcome to introduce yourself one by one if you want to, and tell me how long you've been trading. Pam, do you want to go first? Hello.
Well, hello, Tonya. My name is Chris.
Hello, Chris.
How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Sorry that your mother's in the hospital, and I'll definitely be praying for her.
I appreciate that.
Well, once again, like I said, my name is Chris, and I'm very new to the trading. Been in the business for now, correct, 2 weeks.
Okay, great.
Hi, my name is Luz.
Hi, Luz.
How are you?
I'm good.
I'm sorry to hear about your mom. I'll keep in
Yes,
my
ma'am.
prayers too.
Thank you so much. We've had a lot of death in my family. My aunt passed away yesterday, and so we've had 3 deaths now in 3 weeks. So
I'll keep you guys in my prayers.
thank you so much.
You're welcome. Well, I've been in the IML about 9 months, but I stopped trading. I started trading at the beginning, then I stopped because I got frustrated. I wasn't able to understand it. And I just started. I got in again with Dr. K. Got up in the morning and I was listening to her teaching in the morning. About a month ago, I started. I just got a live account today.
Okay.
Yeah, I just got a live account today, and my house was under renovation, so I had a lot of working people here, and it was stressful. And my grandkids 7 days a week, so I wasn't able to do anything. It was too stressful. So I just started a month ago, like I said, listening to Dr. K's teaching, and now I'm starting all over again. I'm a little confused. I don't know, my kids tell me, Mom, it's that your age don't let you think right. I don't believe that. Age to me is just a number. Maybe I'm just a slow learner, but I'm willing. I just got my live account today, and I'm just starting fresh with you guys. That's why I got involved in this group to see if I could move forward.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, people. The problem is we tend to overthink as the older we are and we're more mature. We overthink things, and that's what gets people a lot of times is that they just overthink. We're like, how could it be so simple? So just be patient, and we're going to struggle a little bit because I don't know everyone's level of knowledge. So we're starting with a little bit of basic stuff tonight,
Yes.
and then we can go from there.
Well, my head is very confused. That
Okay.
much I could tell you.
Okay.
Hi, Tonya. This is Barbara.
Okay,
I've
Barbara.
been trading since maybe 9 months, but
Okay.
I didn't get my live account until the end of November of 2018. When I got in, I didn't get out physically. I got out emotionally because
Yeah.
there was a freak accident with my mother, 92 years old, accident in the hospital.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I went into caregiving and couldn't concentrate. And so I got serious this past November. And ever since then, I've been trying to study here and there, babypips.com, the videos that you guys put out,
Yes.
etc.
Okay. Sounds
Hi,
great.
Tonya. Hi, Tonya. This is Pam from Australia.
Okay.
I'm actually talking to you from work, dodging work, doing this instead.
Okay.
I've been training for about 9 months. I'm one of these that I'll get right into it and then I'll drop it for a little while.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
I'm getting more and more towards retirement age, and boy, do I want to retire. And this is my vehicle out of it all. So I really have to start getting serious about this. I watched some training a couple of days ago, I think it was, with Dr. Kay, and she went over the money line again, which really made sense to me this time. I just absolutely got it. And I've actually been doing a lot more trades just with me, by myself using the money line, doing it very small, but I'm winning on a few, so I'm really happy there.
Okay, that's great.
And I hope your mum gets better.
Thank you so much. Anybody else want to introduce themselves, and then we'll try to get started. It's 8:01.
Hi, this is Shari. Shari Success.
Hi, Sharice.
Hi, I'm in the Dallas area. And look, I just jumped on.
Okay.
Been in Forex for Dr. Kathy for almost a year.
Okay.
And so I had some losses, blown some accounts, had some trading gambling issues, but I think I've gotten those under control, and I am trying to use, I am using better risk management and caution.
Okay, that's great.
So
We're going to discuss risk management tonight. I see so many stories of, blown accounts, and it's just from, you see so many people tell you so many different things about what is proper risk management. So I really didn't know where to try to start with, learning with you all, because, there's just such an array. Someone might be more advanced, someone might be a beginner, as in a couple weeks. So y'all be patient. I'm going to try to go back to the basics a little bit. If I had known more people were fairly fresh and, or just like they frustrated from not learning, or maybe not learning, but just, some people learn differently. So I try to give it to you in a different way. And I try to develop the person, not so much as the trader, because my main thing is this. I try to relate. I'm a big football fan, so I try to relate a lot of things to sports. So number one, if I don't help you develop as a person, meaning your mindset, then you will make bad choices in the things that you do. And where I come from, that is, for example, people are always recruiting athletes, and they say, oh, I want a 5-star. I want a 5-star athlete. That's what you want. But, my philosophy is, let's look for the 3-star that's going to do everything right in life versus the 5-star that's not going to make those right decisions. Because you make bad decisions in life, then you're going to make bad decisions on the football field or basketball court or baseball field. And the same thing, with trading goes. So I'm really big on trying to develop the person as well as teaching. So you'll hear me talk a lot about motivation, the process, and I encourage books all the time for people to read. I'm really big on what I call, it's called feng shui, which is, the way that you decorate or organize things and stuff like that to have the best mental clarity. So I shared some things with Shantae a week ago, and you'll hear me talk about those things from time to time, but you'll probably see in the chats, I'll post sometimes, I call it the nugget of the day. So it'll just be a little quote. It could be from someone else, or it could be something that I came up with. So, but let me start by, I'm gonna tell y'all a little bit about myself. First, my name is Tonya Bryant. I'm a huge Alabama football fan. And that's mainly because I'm a descendant of Bear Bryant. For anybody that likes football or Alabama football. So Dr. Kathy and I have a lot in common there. I live in Alabama currently, and I've lived here all my life. I do have an accent somewhat of New Orleans because I work there as a contractor for a couple years, coming home on the weekend. So I picked up that New Orleans accent a little bit. But educational wise, I have 2 master's degrees, one from Troy University and one from Alabama. In the professional world, I own a government contracting company that basically we're not as big as we were because the government just really downsized. And I worked a full-time job up until a year and a half ago with Johnson Controls. I was a procurement manager, so I dealt with purchasing metals all day long, steel. So I'm really looking into tapping into trading the metals a lot because I have a lot of knowledge about that. I had basically wanted to learn about Forex, and I could not find anyone, in my area that knew anything about it. And so just to show you how God works, I had a stroke a year and a half ago, and I was scrolling down Facebook, and I saw a friend of mine that said, hey, tell my dad happy birthday. And so I went to the dad's page, and the first person that popped up was Dr. Kathy's picture. And she was talking about Forex. And I was like, this has got to be God, because the doctor just told me yesterday there's no going back to work for me. So, and I've been wanting to trade and learn to trade, and there was Dr. Kathy. So I've been trading only about a year and a half. I've shared a lot of the same frustrations that many of y'all have. I've blown accounts. Anybody that tells you they haven't blown an account is not being truthful with you. So, I just want you to know that. I don't know everything about this, but if I don't know something, I will tell you I don't know it, and I will search for the answers. So you're welcome to reach out to me. My name is a little bit different on Telegram. It's M. Bryant 1168, and it's because Tonya wasn't available. So if y'all see it in the chat, you're welcome to reach out to me anytime. I want you all to think tonight about some topics that you would like to go over, and also does this time frame work for you all, or is there a better time frame? I take care of my mother, which some of y'all are sit with your family as well and take care of them. So if you could just be thinking about those things. And like I said, I really didn't know where to begin tonight because I didn't know everyone's level of knowledge. So I wish I would have really started with the very basics, but we'll start with what I brought together, and it's mostly to do with proper risk management and how to do some calculations. And then I also put in, at the end, I'll give you a little quick strategy on trading, and you can use that in your demo or, your live account. Just a disclaimer, past profits don't mean future profits, and you're trading at your own risk. So I just want to throw that out there real quick. But if anybody don't have any questions, we'll get started.
Tonya, it's me, Luz. I can't see the screen.
I don't have a screen up yet. I'm just fixing to pull it up now. I just was talking because Shantae had it, and so I'm pulling it up now. Let me see here. Okay, so does everyone see the screen now?
Yes.
Okay, it should say Forex process training.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. You're welcome to take screenshots of anything on here. I will tell you if I wish for you not to take a screenshot of something, I will always let you know, but I'm pretty much an open book. I'm always working on new strategies. So if it's something that I'm working on and it's not finalized, I will probably ask you, just not to take a picture of it yet. But I'm sort of going to get started with just risk management and the number one thing first about risk management to me is, I'm giving you a screen here that's going to tell you what I think is proper risk management for the, early on trader. I still practice this right now because I take, smaller accounts and try. It's a challenge to me to see how large I can grow them. So, I advise for, and I mean, I still do it myself, as I said, but for every $100 you have, I would say proper risk to me is 0.01. Now, once you become a more experienced trader, you can do other things then. But this is me saying from an early on trader, this is what I suggest. Then for every $1,000 you have in your account, I would suggest that you do a 0.10. And for every 10,000, you can do a 1.0. Now, this is per trade, okay? So, for example, if you have $100 in your account and you know that you want to enter 2 trades, that number now has to be, let's look at it the $1,000 when it makes the math a little bit easier. So say you've got $1,000 in your account and you know that you want to enter 2 trades and you see there that the lot size is 0.10, that lot size would have to be half of that because you're going to do 2 trades. You see what I'm saying? So this is per 1 trade is the way that I look at that. Does that confuse anyone with the way that I said it?
Very clear.
Okay, everybody's good on that?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna go and talk about something mostly, I don't think, I went through IML a year and a half ago, and I don't think they really went in depth of this. So if you got your phones and you trade from your phone, I want most people to go to your trading screen on your MetaTrader 4 and just open it up, and you're gonna see it says balance, equity, margin, free margin, and margin level percentage. There's some of those things I don't really pay attention to, but let's talk about leverage for a minute. So leverage is what allows the traders to enter in the market that, you would otherwise be restricted to do that because of your account size, because I don't use leverage personally just because, it'll get you in trouble. If I do open an account and I use leverage, I don't go over 1 to 200. So using leverage as a trader, you can open more trades than you would traditionally be able to afford. So first we're talking about leverage, and most of you go through that when you first open your account. What size leverage, what leverage do you want? Because let's say that you had 1 to 200 leverage, and I don't want to get too far in this and complicate you all, but let's say you had 1 to 200 leverage and you're seeing that, you've got to remember that if you're seeing it and you think you have $100 that's free margin, really in actuality you only have $50 because half of that is leverage. So I don't want to complicate that. I'm just going to skim over it a little bit. But if you look on the same thing, you will see where it says margin and equity explained. So margin basically is a good faith deposit that you as a trader made as collateral so that you can be able to enter that trade, or we say hold that position open, okay? So your equity, and I wish I had a screenshot of it here, but your equity is equal to your balance plus any floating profits or losses that you have from any open trades, okay? So let's say that you have a balance of $1,500. The number down at the bottom where it says free margin, if you add free margin and equity together, you should come up with that balance that's at the top. So basically, if you have no open positions, your equity and your balance will be the same. So is everybody following me so far on that?
Yes.
Okay. Has this ever really been broken down to you, or have you ever studied margin and equity before?
Nope.
No. Okay.
No.
So does this help you to understand what's going on that screen? If you look at your MetaTrader 4 and you see balance, equity, margin, free margin, now what I've just shown you, does that help you understand how those numbers come into play?
I'm sorry. This is Chris. Could you tell me exactly how to get back to that?
Okay. So do you have your phone, Chris?
Yes.
Okay. So go to your MetaTrader 4 and you just open up your MetaTrader 4 and then hit trade. And when you hit trade, you'll see that screen and it says balance, equity, margin, free margin.
Yes, I do see that.
Okay. So, everybody wants to know what their balance is. But the number one thing that you always want to keep in mind when you've got those trades in is what says free margin. Free margin is the amount of money that you have available that's not obligated for. Okay. So it's sort of like balance in your checkbook, So for example, it's going to say, let's say mine says $490 free margin, but I have an open trade. And let's say that open trade is negative $200. That means I need to really be skeptical of if I'm going to enter a trade. And I don't want y'all to get confused with this, but it's very important. This is where people blow accounts. So is everybody looking at their screen on MetaTrader 4 to see balance, equity, margin, and free margin?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So do you understand now how those numbers go together? So everyone look at your balance, okay? And then look at equity below that. So your equity and your free margin added together is what your balance is. And your free margin is basically what money is available to trade. However, that's going to fluctuate because as your floating profits and losses move, that number is going to move. So that's the number you want to watch is your free margin. Anybody have any questions about free margin? That's the next slide I'm going to talk about. So the amount of margin that is free, meaning not used as collateral in trades. So let's say, for example, at the bank, you have a $10,000 line of credit and you've used $5,000 of it. Your free margin is going to be $5,000 left available, just like credit card balances, So for example, when you have no positions open, no money is being used from your account as margin. So since none of your money in your account is being dedicated to trades, it's considered free. So always remember, keep that number in mind, free margin. But what is very important is, do I have any open trades that's making that free margin move? So now I'm going to go, most of you probably know, or you might not know, that when a position or a trade is held overnight, or when you go from session to session, you have what's called swap or an overnight premium. And that's basically just rolled off into the spread. I mean, not necessarily in all accounts do they just throw it in the spread, but you do have, premiums that go from one session to another. And so a lot of people, they'll try to close their trades out, at the end of, say, New York session, because there will be a premium that you're going to pay when you roll from, let's say London to New York session, or vice versa, any other sessions. everybody aware of that. So what I chose to do here is just throw some things up to show you that, you know, Forex trading volume by pair. And if you look at this, you'll basically see that Euro USD is probably the number one pair that is traded in USJPY. And there's others, but what I try to tell people, you know, early on is when you're first learning to trade, find a pair that you like, one or two pairs, and learn everything about that pair that you can. You know, well, I'd say things like this. If you're wanting to, you know, possibly, you know, get in a relationship with someone, or, you know, you need to know everything about them that you can. What are their tendencies? What did they do? You know, when did they do these things? So, you know, when are they volatile? So I try to tell people, you know, traders, a lot of traders just trade everything. It doesn't matter. But I think it really helps you grow early on if you pick one or two pairs and make sure it's either pairs that correlate together is always great, or, you know, don't. I'm going to give you some knowledge probably in the next class that it's about pairs that go together and pairs that don't go together. So if you're trading one pair, you know, if it's moving in a positive direction, this other pair tends to do the same thing, sort of like Euro USD and GBP USD. You know, those things sort of move together a lot. I like to just throw little educational things up like this from time to time. And then if y'all want to get a shot of this, you're welcome to. It does help when people are trying to add new pairs, or like, you know, where do I go for this? But it just tells you, you know, what the majors are, what the crosses are, what the exotics are. And just remember, when you go to crosses and exotics, you're going to pay a higher spread. You know, and the spread is basically what you're paying the broker, you know, to handle that trade. So I'm not for sure. We got a lot of feedback from someone. I'm not for sure who it is. And I'm not looking at the chat, guys. So if anyone's asking questions in the chat, Chris, will you just let me know that? You sort of monitor the chat and let me know, and I'll try to answer it. So thus far, does anybody have any questions about anything that I've said? And probably the feedback is somebody's probably got two devices going, and they're feeding back off of each other, but I'm not for sure. It does it about every 2 seconds. So, but any questions so far about what we've covered?
No.
I hear one or two no's, and I don't. So everybody else, I'm assuming, has it.
Tonya, I have a question, Shari.
Okay.
I just want to back up 1 second on the margin and free margin.
Yes, ma'am.
We should be looking at the free margin, and if it gets below a certain area, it's like a red flag, or is it some?
Yeah.
Where do we want to keep that free margin?
Yeah, what I would say is, you know, let's say that you have a trade. Let's just do this for easy math's sake, okay? And I could pull up the drawing board, but I'll try to just explain it verbally. Let's say that you have $1,000 in your account, okay? And let's say that in that $1,000 you have one trade open. And let's say that one trade is Euro USD. And let's say that you're negative $150, okay? So that's going to make your free margin $850, correct? Everybody see where I get the math? You're negative 150 and your balance is 1,000. So your free margin is going to be $850. So what I would come into my mind and say, if I want to enter another trade, I need to be mindful of what is going on with the trade that I have open and what my free margin currently is. Does everybody understand that?
Yes.
Yes,
So,
the broker will the broker will close that trade automatically and just take your money.
That's correct. Take your money. Now, I will tell you some things that I do, and I did early on as a trader, rather than lose my money, other than pleading to Jesus like I did tonight, because I had an account I'm trying to grow, and I was testing something on it, and it got down to, there was $6 and some change left before it was going to blow the account and take the money. So this is me just testing something now. And I looked at it and I said, devil, you a liar. You got to go. I plead the blood of Jesus over you. And it wasn't 3 minutes and it had done popped back up to 30-something dollars. So, but what I do sometimes if I see that happening, so I have multiple accounts open at my broker. Okay. So I don't necessarily have all my money in one account. I might have one landing account, but I might have 3 or 4 trading accounts. Okay. So that means I'm not held hostage to just that one account and something's going bad and now I can't trade. So I always leave some money in that main landing account. And if I just know, hey, it's a pullback, but now if we're using proper risk management, we shouldn't get into this unless you trade with no stop loss. And now I trade with no stop loss, but that's to each his own. And we're going to go over the math of some of that to try to help you understand trading with a stop loss versus trading without a stop loss. So free margin is the number that you look at, but you've got to be mindful. You know, it's like, let's say you got $1,000 credit card limit and your son has a credit card and he's on the same account with you and you know, your limit's halfway full. You got to be mindful of, just because it says on the statement, I have $500 available, you know, what else is going on? Are there some charges? You know, just things like that. Just try to drive it all back to your checkbook, you know, loans and balances and stuff like that. So free margin is the number that you want to look at. That's what you're concerned with. What is your free margin? And if you look at your screen, you'll see it as it starts to happen. You will be like, that it's registering now, you know. So just look at your screen as we're talking and you'll see what I'm talking about, how those numbers match up and what happens. So did I help you there with the question you had?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about trading with a stop loss. And, you know, I just don't trust brokers. Okay. So I know that they have algorithms and they run them and they try to catch people's stop losses. If you ever notice, I know you've all done it. They know, like, they just run these algorithms and they get your stop loss 90% of the time, you know. So I'm giving you a scenario here of, let's say that you're in a Euro USD trade and your lot size is 0.02. So that means for every pip that it moves, it's 20 cents. Okay, everybody follow me on the 20 cent. So if we had a stop loss of 20 pips, and this is for both trades you're seeing above, not just one, but both of them. If your stop loss was hit on both trades, you've lost $8.80. You've just basically given this to the broker for nothing. Okay, so what I do is I try to explain the math to you of what it would take to blow your account if you didn't use a stop loss. Okay, I'm gonna go away from this screen for a second and see if it'll pop up here. Okay, so I hate writing on the whiteboard because I do terrible. Okay, so let's say that we have a trading account. We have $1,000 balance. Okay, and let's say we enter a trade and we're in a trade And what did I say is the proper risk management if you have $1,000 account? What lot size can you use?
0.10.
Okay, 0.10. So I'm in one trade at 0.10. Everybody see the whiteboard? Am I messy writing?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So that means that for every pip that this moves up or down, it costs us how much money? If we're at a 0.10.
$1.
$1. There you go. Okay. So now always remember this is per one trade. Okay. So how many pips to the negative would this trade have to go before it blew your account?
1,000.
There you go. Okay. So I'm going back to that scenario just a minute ago when we had those two trades. And you remember we had a 20 pip stop loss. And if you remember, each trade, we would have lost $4 and was it 40 cents, I believe? 420. Let me minus this down and I can see it.
440.
440. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so now let's say we just had this one trade and we put a stop loss in and we lost $4.40. You know, after a period of time, you're going to get tired of giving away this $4.40 because I bet you what's going to happen is it's going to run up there and it's going to hit your stop loss and then it's going to shoot right back the way that it was supposed to go. I mean, they just know how to do this, you know. So what I try to tell people is let's always keep in mind and do the numbers game. Do I want to use a stop loss? And if I don't want to use a stop loss, if I'm in this one trade, how many pips will it have to go before it blows my account? Okay, so this right here is one trade. Okay, so let's say now we got in two trades. Okay, so number one, we would be outside of proper risk management, correct? Because we said for every $1,000, 0.10. But let's just say we did it, you know, we're having good luck this week, we're reading the charts good, and let's say we entered another trade and we were at 0.10. The same thing happened. How many pips now does each trade have to go in the negative before it would blow my account?
50.
500, remember?
Yes.
500 each. So remember a few minutes ago, it was 1,000. It was going to have to go backwards. And I know that moving that zero catches you in the decimal, so don't feel bad about it. But you see what I'm saying? This trade is going to have to go 500 pips bad on each trade to blow my account. Now, do I want to just keep giving $4.40, or it could be higher? You know, it just depends on your lot size. Do I want to just keep doing that, or do I want to look at this scenario over here? And that's just me. That's my preference. That's what I do. Now, does it catch me sometimes because I have to ride it back the other way because I didn't have a stop loss in? Yeah, it catches me. But let me tell you, that has taught me more patience than anything in the world. When I first started trading, oh my God, let it get negative 50 something dollars. Oh, I'm closing this out. I can't stand to lose that money. You know, and now I'll sit here and I'll ride something back, you know, $500 or $600, you know. So it's to each its own, but this is how you calculate how many pips does it have to go the opposite way for me to lose or blow my account. And now always remember, that's per one trade. Now, do we need to do the math on another one? A little more difficult, or is everybody okay with how do you get to that number? Does everybody understand how you get to the number?
Can you do another sample?
Okay, sure. So you call the trade. How much money do I have in my account?
$100.
$100. Okay, hold on. Okay, $100. We got $100. Okay, and how much are we? What's our lot size going to be? What are we going to trade? 0.01. Okay, gotcha. So y'all are practicing proper risk management. I'm proud. I'm proud. Okay, so are we just going to do this one trade, or are we going to do the things we shouldn't do and enter another trade too?
One trade.
Do we want to play with it and enter another trade too?
Well, you know, realistically,
Yes.
that's what we'd be doing.
That's why we're waiting for y'all to get realistic with me. Okay, so we're gonna do this again. So we're at 0.01 again. Okay, so now we got 10 cents, remember, 10 cents for every pip that it moves. Okay, so the easiest way to do it is if you're doing two trades, just remember, always just do the math on one first. So if my account size is $100, my lot size is 0.01, I'm losing 10 cents or I'm gaining 10 cents a pip, how many pips does my trade have to go backwards on this one trade before I blow my account?
Is it 100 pips?
Yes, ma'am, 100. And the easy math to do this is just always divide this number by this number right here. Okay? But now we've got two trades in, remember? So what happens to this number?
Less than half.
That's correct. So now we can only go 50 backwards. Or it can happen a different way. Let's say that this one's going really bad and it goes backwards 70. This one can only go backwards what?
30.
There you go. So does this help y'all understand
Yes, ma'am.
what you're getting to? Has anybody ever gone over this with you about doing the math calculation of what it takes to blow your account?
No, never.
No,
Okay.
first time.
Do you think this will help you in the future?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, great. That's what I want to do. I want to be able to help you in the future. So we good on the math, or do we need to do another one?
Tonya, the math is good, and it could be frustrating trading 10 cent a pip. It could really be frustrating. I mean, and then you're thinking, how long would it take me to be a millionaire trading 10 cent a pip? You know it.
Okay, but I want y'all to listen to me, okay?
Okay.
I did something, and I do this all the time to see how I can grow an account, okay? So how can I grow this account? And what I do is this. Let me tell you this, and I could send y'all screenshots to let you see it, but I'd probably get in trouble, so I won't do that. I take, and just to be realistic with the people that I educate, I don't get on here and, excuse my language, try to flodge and put in a point, you know, a 10.0 and a 1.0. Yeah, do I do that? Yes, I do that because I have an account I can do that on. But you've got, you know, you got to feel like this is real. This is something that can be attained, and we've got to grow at it. You know, you just don't go from being the janitor to the president. You know what I'm saying? You grow. It does happen, but you got to grow. So I trade 0.10 and 0.20 70% of the time. Now, I want 3 of you to tell me what your goal per day is right now as a trader. What would you be happy with right now as a trader? 3 people.
500.
$100.
How much?
I would say at least $100 starting off.
$100 a day. And somebody said 500 a day.
$100 to start a day.
Okay, 100 a day. Now, who said 100 a day?
Lose.
Louis. Okay, got you, Louis. I'm writing this down now.
Yeah, to start.
To start. That's right. We got to start somewhere. Okay. Who said 500?
Cheryl.
Okay. Gotcha. And I need one more.
$1,000 a day.
1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, y'all working my nerves tonight.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say 50. But
Who is that?
This is Tonya.
Okay, Tanya, you sound like me now. Okay. So, you know, I don't know if a lot of you, when I first started out, I was like, oh man, and I made good money, you know, in the world. So this didn't, you know, I have, you know, I come from a good income, you know, so I was like, I got to be reasonable about this because I'm learning. If I can just start out doing $100 a day, you know, and then you'll look back. I promise you guys, I do $300 a day on 0.10 or 0.20 comfortably, and I probably don't trade 2 hours a day.
I want to learn that.
Yes, yes.
And I do that comfortably now. Now it took, man, I got so many knots in my head. I mean, literally now I've blown accounts, but I go back to, you know, there's so many strategies out there. And one strategy is trying to top the next strategy and the next strategy and the next strategy. Guys, get you something simple that works and just grind it till it stops working. But it's gonna work, I promise you. You know, I've grown a little bit as a trader recently, and just to tell you, I have been contemplating about doing this class because, you know, I had a homeless gentleman I was taking care of. He was diagnosed with cancer and he lived 5 weeks. And then the lady that took care of my grandmother, my mother for 12 years, that was a live-in sitter, she passed away 2 weeks later. And my mom is a sickly individual. And then I have lupus. So I'm like, can I sacrifice my time to do this? So just to show you how God works, I have been struggling growing these little accounts. Now my big account is good, I do whatever, but something just wasn't going right. So this is the honest to God's truth. I was on the phone with Shantae last week and I told her, okay, Shantae, I'll do it. And as we got ready to hang up the phone, I heard my mom's voice and it didn't sound right. And I went in there, and of course, my mom, they thought she was having a stroke, so we had to rush her to the hospital. So immediately that night, when I started trading those 2 little accounts to grow them, I'm trying something new, immediately I was winning 95% of my trades. Now, that was my sign that I need to help someone. I've got to sow my seed into them because I don't recruit IML. I'm here to learn and I'm here to sow the seed. I'm not into multi-level marketing. So that was my sign that this is what I needed to do. And so I struggled, and I'm going to share, you know, the things that, you know, IML is great. I love it. You know, all their education is great. But what I didn't like was I'm going through something and then I'm stuck and I got a question. Well, that TV is not going to talk back to me. It's not going to answer my question, you know, and Dr. K is very busy and she is my upline. And, you know, I feel bad about texting her and asking her some crazy question. And so that's what made me just start developing these PowerPoints, you know, to help people, because I know what it feels like to watch those videos and try to learn, but you've got a question and you don't feel like you can move forward because you're already confused and you've got nobody to ask the question to. So I'm sure some of you have been there before.
Yes, I was there myself for the last few days in a row.
So, and if you have those bad days, put your phone down and walk away from it. Leave it alone. Used to, when I would enter a trade, I'd stay up all night long watching my phone. Guys, I tell you, I'll put a trade in and I'll walk off and I might be gone somewhere 5 hours and like, oh, I left my phone at home and I'm in a trade for X dollars. You know, you will get to that point. And if my grandma always told me this, scared money can't win and a jealous man can't work. So if you got scared money, there's no need for you to be doing this. Just forget it. Go on and walk out now before you lose it. Scared money can't win and a jealous man can't work.
You're right. Let me say, this is the first time I feel comfortable in a teaching, trading life like this.
Yes, ma'am. And I will give you every bit of knowledge that I have, and I'll try to help you grow emotionally, psychologically, because that all plays a part. So, you know, I'm always going to give you things, you know, who moved my cheese, go read this, do that. But we're starting, this is our first night together. So guys, it takes 21 days to create a habit. And it takes 90 days for something to become a lifestyle, okay? 2190, okay? That's our philosophy now. So starting tonight, everybody that's on this training, I want you to promise me, I'm gonna tell you something I want you to listen to, and you need to do it for 21 days straight. 21 days straight, don't miss a day. You can go on YouTube. It's called The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. The Strangest Secret. And once you listen to that tonight, after class, I put it on when I'm going to bed. I've been doing it for a year. I forgot about the 2190, okay? So listen to it and just type back in the chat in our group and let me know what your thoughts are. 2190, keep that in mind, guys, 2190. In my group, I always call the people I teach no 9 to 5. So our goal is no 9 to 5.
Excuse me, Tonya.
Yes.
Can you say the name of that that YouTube thing again?
Let me see, I can type it in the chat. It's called The Strangest Secret. Earl Nightingale. Y'all got it. The Strangest Secret, Earl Nightingale, YouTube. 21 days straight. Okay, so we're gonna move on. And so all I did in the next one was just, it's another scenario. Make sure you see my screen here. Okay, so this is just another scenario for math real quick. So in this scenario, we had, you know, USD, CHF in a sale for 0.05. So 0.05 is how many cents per pip, guys? Ladies?
50 cents.
50,
okay.
50 cents.
So if we had 50 cents and we got stopped out at 22 pips, that means we lost $11. So now our $100 account just become $89 for no reason, So if you're just wanting to give money away like that, just give it to me. Just give it to me, because that's all you're doing is just giving it to the broker. Now, I'm not encouraging it and I'm not telling you that's what to do, okay? But I'm just telling you why I do not use a stop loss. And so if you do this numerous times, you know, before you know it, you've blown your account. So I want to talk just a second before we go over to the next thing about EMAs, and we'll get, you know, back to some more basics next week. But, you know, people are always talking about time frames, you know, time frames. Oh, do I look at the 15-minute? Do I look at the 1 hour? Do I look at the, the day, the week, the whatever? So this is the way I want you to remember that. Okay, let's attribute time frames to reading a book. And now I'm asking you, I want you to be able to tell me about the book. Let's say The Strangest Secret, not the video, but the book. And if you just read 3 pages out of that book, do you really think you could tell me much about the book? No. So I look at that as a 15-minute time frame. So you're looking at the charts on 15 minutes. Okay, but let's say that I read a chapter. Okay, now I've read a chapter of the book. How much can I really tell you about it? So now I'm looking at the charts, and that's equivalent to, about a 1 hour time frame. Let's say I read half of the book. I can tell you a little bit more about it now. So now I've worked my way up to the 4 hour chart. But let's say I read the whole book and I know everything about it. So now I'm looking at the day or the week chart. So just remember, attribute time frames on charts to reading a book. The lower the time frame, the smaller the number of pages you read. The larger the time frame, you probably read the whole book. So you know more about that pair, more about that trade. So just remember, if you want to know and have more security and comfort in the decision you make, you want to read the whole book, you want to go to a higher time frame. Yes, sometimes we have to back down and go to a chapter to dive back into something that we might not have gotten all of, so that's dropping back maybe to the hour time frame or, 15-minute, 30-minute. But always just remember, the more you want to know and the more you want to feel comfortable about things, the higher the time frame you go to. So I got a lot of, I asked Shantae to put out and ask people, what are some topics that you wanted to go over? And, there was a lot of different ones. And I didn't know y'all's level of learning. So I just had to come in and try to, pray that I was doing, coming in at a good place. And so I want y'all all to think about, moving forward next week, where do you feel that you need to go to in your learning to come out and be successful? If it's going back to all the way to the basics, even before what we're talking about right now, we can do that because I want you to be successful. The last thing I want you to do is say, oh, that didn't help me any, So each week we're going to have a little bit of motivation or something along those lines. And then we're going to go into some learning material. And then I'm going to try to give you some tool or trading strategy for you to use to try to help you trade to make a little money, because nobody wants to learn something if they're not making money and participating at the same time. It makes it more fun when you're making money. So just to know that, any one of you should be happy with $300 a day. Start now. I mean, I think $100 a day is a great goal, because just remember, easy come, easy go. If something is easy, it's not going to last forever. So, let's set our goals, and I want everybody to sit down, write your goal down. I want you to keep it. We're going to come back to it at a later point in time, but I want you to have, guys, listen, shh. I want you to have a 1-month goal and a 90-day goal. And then we'll reevaluate from there. So in 1 month, not just what would you like to be making a day, but how would you like to feel as a trader? How your comfort level, your emotions, all of those things put down. Where do you want to be at 30 days? Where do you want to be at 90 days? And we'll see if me giving you the tools and helping you with the process of trading, not just, hey, let's enter it, let's go through the process, go through the process. If you're an athlete, you can't just, it's football season. You can't just, get out there. You don't work out as much in the season because you're playing, but in the off season, you got to do all the right things. You got to eat right. You got to exercise. You got to stay motivated. All these kind of things. That's part of a process. So same thing with this. Education never stops. You got to teach yourself every day. You learn something every single day. I learn something every single day. So you got to eat right. That means, you got to learn. You got to have the right mind frame to trade. So Earl Nightingale, I promise you guys, will help you get in that direction. You'll get in the right mind frame. You'll have a whole new mindset in 21 days. So 2190, and also remember, no 9 to 5. So I'm going to go to something now. And are you all familiar with something called EMA, exponential moving average?
Yes, I am.
Yes. Okay. The majority of you probably are. All of you have probably heard of it at least, but we're just going to talk about it a little bit. Then I'm going to give you a quick strategy, and you can practice it on demo or you can practice it on your live account. It's up to you, but I think you'll see a little bit of a success. And then next week, I hate to teach something really like strategy wise out there, but it helped me to grow early on. I teach the London breakout. Now, not the London session. We trade it in the London session, but it's called the London breakout. And I can help you with that. And I promise you, you will gain. I'm telling you now, this is disclaimer. 85% of the time, you will get between 25 and 50 pips per trade. And I usually enter 2 GBP pairs a night. So I'm going to teach, unless something changes in my mind, I will teach you the London breakout next week. On top of educational stuff, that will be our strategy. But basically an EMA is a moving average. And basically what it does is it gathers data, and it's the difference in it and a simple moving average is that more weight is given to the most recent data. So it's also known as an exponential weighted moving average. It's like all moving average indicators, they're much better and suited for trending markets. When the market is in a strong sustained uptrend, the trend is your friend, guys. That's the way you make money. Never go against the trend. I really don't, sometimes I don't even trade pullbacks just because you don't know how long it's going to pull back, So if the trend is an uptrend, I'm going to ride that uptrend till I get that indication that, hey, it's fixing to change. And I'll get out and look for another trade. I don't try to, fool with the pullbacks, and I don't encourage that early on to any traders. So what I'm going to teach you is it's called the ketchup and mustard. So I'll show you this here. And the ketchup and mustard strategy is this. The 5 EMA that we will put on there is red in color, and that's why we call it the ketchup. And there's a 13 EMA, and it's yellow, and we refer it as the mustard. Okay? So this is so simple, guys. So a buy strategy is this, and you're welcome to screenshot this. The buy strategy is this. You enter when the ketchup crosses over the mustard from below. If you get that screenshot, I'm going to show you an illustration, and it will help you understand it a little bit more. So when the ketchup crosses the mustard from below. Now here's what it looks like. Now you see the red line here? That's the ketchup, guys. And what does it do? You see it cross that mustard? Do y'all see it?
Yes.
Okay, so the ketchup crosses the mustard from below. That means it's a buy. So what happens right here? What happens in the charts?
Upward move.
It went up.
Uptrend.
Hey, shh, guys. It went straight up, didn't it? So the ketchup crossed the mustard from below, and it goes into a buy. Okay. So now, let me go and show you this. Now, this is what's going to tell you your exit or your take profit for this. Okay. Your exit or take profit is, and take your picture. Let me erase this. Well, I'll worry about that later. If the candlestick closes below the ketchup, you should take profit or exit. This is an indication of a reversal. Now, if you want to use a stop loss, 5 to 15 pips above your entry price. Got it? And I'm going to show you the picture of it now so it helps you to understand a little bit better. Okay, so basically it told us, let me get this to come back up here. Okay, so it tells us here that if the, I hate this little eraser. It tells us in the exit strategy, if price, meaning the candlestick, closes below the ketchup. Okay, so you see this right here? Y'all see my cursor on that red candlestick?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So price closed below this here. So that's your time to get out. Now, I'll show you something that will help you to know like when that's going to start happening, or it's a high probability that it's going to happen. Do you see right here the distance between the ketchup and mustard? You see the distance between that?
Yes.
You see the distance between it right here?
Yes.
Okay. So the further apart they are, the safer you are to know that that trend is going to stay in that direction. As they start getting closer, there's a high probability that it's going to change directions. Okay? And there's a better example later. I think you'll really see it. We'll try it and see here. We'll go on now to the sell, and we can go back to them. So the sell strategy, and take your picture, is when the ketchup crosses the mustard from above. When the ketchup crosses the mustard from above. Everybody got that picture? Okay, and here's your illustration. Okay, so it says when the ketchup crosses the mustard from above. So here's our ketchup, and right here you see it start coming in, and it crosses that mustard from above. And what happens? It goes down. Sell, sell, sell. Okay, now you remember me talking about the distance between these two? You see the further apart they are, how it falls more into a sell, more into a sell. See, that distance is pretty big right there. Mm-hmm. So that's basically off of this candlestick right here. Now, when they start getting closer together, what happens? They come right there together, and they don't really cross. They just get one on top of another. But still, when I start seeing them get close and I'm early on as a trader, get out of the trade. Now, later on, you'll start to find other things that will tell you, you know, hey, it's not going to stay or whatever. But you see it went right back into a sell again. But so what? You could have got into it again. It was okay to get out. When you started seeing this stuff back here, and you started seeing these candlesticks. Now on this chart here is not the Hakanashis. I trade with the Hakanashis, but in this illustration, I didn't have them there. So, and that's something we'll go over later too. I know Dr. K's taught a lot on these different things, but what I try to do is break them down, you know, give you more info about it. Not the overview, but break it down.
Tonya, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
To use this strategy, do we have to sit and watch the chart, or just set it and leave it?
Well, what I would do is, like, this here is a good, now I wouldn't get down on like the 15-minute, because what's going to happen is you're going to have a lot of traffic, ins and outs, ins and outs. I think you look for this trade on a 1 hour time zone. Okay. So, you'll find other things we'll get to later that, helps you to know, you know, where should I put a take profit? You know, we'll talk about support and resistance and those kind of things. But, you know, I suggest this when you know you're going to have a little while, you know, you can put the trade in and go about your business. At the same time, I said you can use a stop loss and go about your business. Okay. And so basically here, it tells you your exit strategy. We said the entry was when when the ketchup crosses the mustard from above, and your exit is going to be this: if a bullish candle forms above the ketchup. So I'm going to show you that. I bet it didn't get on this screen here, but I'll go back. So it's saying if a bullish candle forms above the ketchup. So bull is green, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay, it's whatever color you choose it to be, but in this case, it's green. So if you notice right here, what happened right here? A bullish candle formed above the ketchup. So that's my time to get out. But I would have seen other things back here when it started giving me these little bitty candlesticks. And remember, we getting closer together. Now, yeah, you're going to give up a few pips because you're getting out earlier. But until you build your confidence, I would rather have 25 pips and get out than go for 40 pips and I still lose 15. You know, I'd rather just be safe. But when you see that them two lines start getting close together, you know it's getting ready to change direction, or it'll pull back a little bit and continue on in the same direction. Now, here is, you know, it tells you you can put a stop loss in. And if you're welcome to try this, use this on your demo, or you're welcome to use it, you know, on your live account. But to build your confidence, I would say, you know, try it on your demo a little bit. Does anybody have any questions?
I have a question. And you said to do this on the 1 hour chart?
You can do it on the 1 hour, 4 hour. It's just, let me pull a chart up here and see if I can show you. And my charts have a lot of stuff on them. So do y'all see my chart here, or do you see the other?
We just see your PowerPoint.
Okay.
Don't see the chart yet.
It's taking forever to want to pull up. I don't know what's going on with that. There it goes. Okay, so let me try this. Let me find one that I don't have everything in the world on. I hate this thing. It's right in the way. This one's really not set up like that. But if y'all look on this, y'all see my screen now, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So basically, if you look, I'm down like on a 5-minute time frame. And do you see how these colors are different? But just look for the general sake of, you're in and out a lot. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot of traffic. and you would be too emotional. But if you start looking, you get on up on the 1 hour, how you get like, see this big difference here, guys? See how much room you have right here? That's letting you know, hey, that's a good ride up. But when they start getting closer together, look what happens. Consolidation or change in direction. Consolidation or change in direction. So I was trying to find something I could show you. Now, I can take a few more minutes and try to show y'all another strategy if I can find. Now, let me show you this. Now, do you guys know how to get your, to know how many pips the spread is on something? So let's say that you wanted to get in USD CAD, okay? And let me fix this here. Okay, so let's say you want to get in USD CAD, but you want to know what the spread is, okay? The spread is very important. What you do here is you can have it in this last column right here. Do y'all see what I'm talking about? To show you what your actual spread is. We've got the bid, the ask, and then the question mark is the spread. And the way you get that, does anyone have theirs set up like that?
I do.
Okay, so
Yes.
basically all you do is click in this and then right click, and you go down here and click spread, and it will show it to you. Now, let me tell you something. When you see this say 9, it should be 0.9. It's not a whole 9 pips. It's 0.9 of a pip. And like here, this NZD chief, that's 1.5 pips, not 15 pips. Does everybody get that part?
Yes.
Okay. A lot of people are just like, well, what's the spread? You know? So let me see if I can find something to try to show y'all real quick.
So just to ask you right quick on that spread part, what would it take to become a whole pip? Because I see that you're saying that it's actually supposed to be a decimal in between it. So how would it be?
So 1.1, 1.7, 1.8. So basically in my mind, it's still a pip. You know, I don't deal with that last number at all. It don't exist to me. The pipette does not, I mean, I don't even factor it in. Now, if it's 0.9, like if for example, I was entering my stop loss or I was entering my take profit, whatever this last number is here, I use that as my last number so that I'm getting an even pip when I use my take profit. So if I want my take profit to be 146.94, it would be 146.949. So that way I'm getting an exact 20 pips right here. I always make that last number, the pipette, the same as what it is. That way you're not getting a fraction of a pip in your take profit.
Gotcha.
Now, so let me try this. GBP pairs is usually good to look at to do this sometimes. So you know,
Can I ask a question on the spread?
yes.
The spread, so on my MetaTrader for my phone, when I see the spread that says 23, 17, 18, that's 2.6 like that, or 1.8? That's what you're saying?
Okay, I would have to see what you're talking about. I don't look at it on my phone. What is the pair?
The pair my MetaTrader for?
Yeah, just give me a pair that you're looking at.
Okay, NZD USD, it has a spread of 6.
Okay, NZD USD. Okay, so this is gonna be the difference in the broker, okay? So here it says 11, okay? But that's 1.1, because if you did the math between the ask and the bid, that's what the spread is.
Okay.
So it would be 1.1. So that's 6, if it's 6, it's gonna be 0.6.
Okay. Okay.
Got it?
Yes.
So I was trying to find something easy that I could show y'all a little strategy. And it don't look like it's gonna be, let me find something that's commonly traded. Guys, they've been good too long. Okay, so there's a little scenario that I can give y'all. I'm trying to get to somewhere that everything wouldn't be seen. We'll forget that it don't exist. Okay, so let's say that we were right here, okay? We're right here. Let me see here. Okay, so let's say we're right here, guys. None of this other has happened over here, okay? So specifically, we're looking from here back. And let's say that, you know, it's whatever time of day that it is. And you see all this right here, consolidation?
Yes.
You see how this is consolidating? So there's a box theory. I don't know if y'all know about the box theory or not. So when I see consolidation, what I would do is go up here to where it says insert and go to shapes, and then I go to rectangle, okay? And I'm gonna come right here and say the consolidation started about right here, and I'm gonna make me a box that covers the highest point of the wick and the lowest point for that time frame right there, okay? Let's say I want to end it right there. It didn't go all the way, but let's just say right there was consolidation, okay? And I put this box here, so I need to get to the very top of the wick for the highest point and the lowest point of the wicks down here for that area. So let's just say it's consolidating right now, and we don't see anything to the right that's happened, okay? So I put that box there. Now what you can do is when you get that box there, I go up here and I take the line here and I'll put it right on top of that box. And then I'll come back and get the line here again, and I'll put this line right at the bottom of the box. So I can get my coordinates to write them down. And early on in trading, that's what I do. So I get the math right. So on that top line, it says that price is 1.1343, and I forget about the 7, okay? And so what I would do is I just use a number like 11. I would come in and put me, and you don't have to use 11. It depends on what it is. I might use 11, I might use 7, but I use between 7 and 11. So I would come right here, and on this top line where it says 1.1343, I'm gonna add 11 pips to that, okay? So I'm gonna come up with 1.1354, 7, okay? Remember the 7 was on the end. And I would enter me a buy stop at 1.13547. And then I would come down here and I would get this number, and it was 1.13361. And I would subtract 11 pips, okay? And I would come up with 1.13251, and I would put me in a sell stop, okay? And so what's gonna happen now is when the market starts moving and it breaks out of this consolidation, it's gonna activate the buy or the sell. Well, guess what? It activated the sell. And so in that activation, I wouldn't know really how far down it probably activated it, but let's see. It activated about right there. So it activated the sell, but then it did a pullback. But if you see what happened, it went on down. So let's say we wrote it to right. Let's say we wrote it to right here. That's 34 pips. Now, what I do on that to put in a stop loss, I do use a stop loss with this because I use this trade when I'm trying to grow an account and teach someone. So you remember this number that you had right here? And then you added the 11 to it. And we came up with 1.13547. I add like 5 additional pips to that number, and that's my stop loss. So when it pulled back up here, it didn't even touch my stop loss, and then it went on down. And just the opposite, and I might be a little too advanced for you right now, but that's just a good little thing that you can practice. When you see consolidation, like right here, you could have threw that little box up. And let me see if I can find something like right now, tonight, that's consolidating. And you could look at it and put you a box. See, that's moving too big right there. Okay, so this is sort of consolidating right here, GBP, JPY. And it's been a little violent. Oh, it went crazy. That's the pair that went crazy on me earlier today. So right here, what you could do is I would leave this big wick out. I wouldn't include that, but come up here and I would say insert, shapes, rectangle, and I would come right here and start my box. If it's ever gonna draw it. My mouse is real tedious right now. I've got to change the battery. Okay, and then I would let go, and I would go up here, remember, and you put your line up here to get whatever the top figure was. This is just the easier way to do it rather than straining your eyes. And I'd put my line right there. So you get that number up top. Hey, guys, they're getting anxious. Listen, and you add, I use 11. And then the same thing at the bottom, I would subtract 11 and put in a sell stop and just watch for it to go. And it will activate one. When it activates the buy, sort of like the news, you close the sale or vice versa.
Tonya, where you get the 11 from? And you mentioned another 7, I think?
I just pulled it out of my head. It's good to use anywhere between 7 and 15, but I just try to use 11. I've just had success with 11.
Okay.
You can use whatever you want to. But if y'all will give me 1 second, I'm gonna turn my little babies out and let them go outside, and I'll come back. I'm just gonna mute myself for a second so y'all don't hear them going crazy, and I'll come right back and we'll pick up for a few more minutes, okay?
Okay. Hello, can anyone hear me? This is Chris.
Yes.
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 Okay, with an action one, I know the difference between, I know what a stop loss is, but I also heard her say a stop sale. Do anybody know exactly what that was? I can't remember off the top of my head.
That's a way to enter the trade. You could do it's a pending order that she's putting in.
But it's a sale stop.
Right. She's putting in a pending order. And it's she's doing what's she doing, a buy stop and a sell stop?
Okay, guys, I'm back. I'm sorry. I normally have my mom to babysit, but so basically, yes, I'm doing a buy stop and a sell stop. And that's just a little small, trading strategy you can use. You see a lot of consolidation if you look back here. And if you look, generally, you'll see a big breakout and it'll go one way or the other. I was trying to look back and try to, let's see this one.
What kind of TP do you use? Just like out of curiosity.
Yeah, I would not use, early on, just trying to learn. I would try to get, and I don't want to complicate things for some people that might be beginners, but what you can do is do a take profit of 10. Okay. And if you want to, whatever your take profit at 10 is, have you another buy or sell stop with that price as an entry.
Got it.
You see what I'm saying? And add, generally you're good for 20 pips. And next week I'm gonna teach the London breakout, and it's really along these lines. And so you're good for, 25 to 50 pips on a pair.
Got it.
So basically, if y'all would, that's basically what I had for tonight, because I didn't know, where everyone's knowledge level was. If you all would like to reach out in the chat, or, reach out to me individually, you see my stuff in the chat, and let me know, what you would like to learn next week. And I can try to get a plan together going forward so that everybody, is learning. Trust me, you can go back to the beginning every single time and you will learn something new every time.
So true.
And so, I hope that what I've covered tonight has helped at least one person. And we will take and y'all just give me some ideas, shoot the thoughts of what you want to do. So every week we will cover some educational material for probably at least an hour. And then I will probably go over a new strategy for, 15 to 30 minutes, depending on how difficult it might be. And any questions. So is there any questions? And guys, please don't feel like a question is a stupid question. The only stupid question is the one you don't ask. We're all here to learn.
Are you going to do more teaching on that box?
Do you want me to do more teaching on the box?
Yes.
I'm not all clear on it, so.
Okay, well, I really didn't want to get too in. I just threw that in because I had a few more minutes tonight. I will cover it more in depth I'll do that next week as the educational part, as far as, a strategy, and I'll have the PowerPoints and everything, so you'll see exactly what you need to do. It's not me just rattling numbers from the top of my head, but I just wanted you to see how I can give you little simple strategies that'll help you 10 to 20 pips, 10 to 20 pips.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Is that good?
What's the name
Did
of
that
the
seem
group?
fairly simple? Did that seem fairly simple to you all?
Yes.
Other than,
Yes, thank you,
Yes.
Tonya. Thank you so much.
Yes.
sure.
Definitely.
Now,
I do
any
have a
questions?
request. I do have a request, Tonya.
Sure.
If you could go back to your PowerPoint
Yes, ma'am.
and the two different screens where you were doing the ketchup over the mustard.
Okay.
Can you go back over the difference between those two slides, please?
Okay. So let's go to the, we'll go back to this part. Now, do you see where it says ketchup and mustard?
Yes, ma'am.
So are you good on this part, the 5 EMA and the 13 EMA?
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
what y'all can do is, anyone that does not know how to load the EMA, if you'll reach out to me, I can maybe get on Zoom with 2 or 3 at the time and help you load them. They're really simple. It takes 5 minutes. We can load the EMAs, and you can go from there. So, but I just need to know, who would need help. It's real simple to put them on. So, so we're here with the ketchup and mustard. You got that part, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the 5 is the ketchup and the 13 is the mustard. All right, so now we're gonna go to the buy. So basically the buy is when the ketchup crosses over the mustard from below.
Okay. Okay.
You see it right here, how it's coming from below? And it's hard to tell because I really couldn't zoom in any more than in the photo.
I can still see it to the right though. That's a very clear shot to the right.
And the main thing, remember, the further apart these get, we're making profit here. When they start getting close together, you see how the candles change? They get small, small, small.
Yes, ma'am.
An indication, hey, that things are fixing to change. Okay. And then the exit to that is, for the buy, is if the price, which is the candlestick, closes below the ketchup. So I'm going to go here, price, and it closes below the ketchup.
I
right
got
here.
it. I got
Okay.
it. Yes, ma'am.
Now you need to see the sale. Okay, the sale entry is when the ketchup crosses the mustard from above. Just remember, just the opposite. So if you remember one, you know the other one. Just the exit is just a tad bit different.
Yes,
So the
ma'am.
exit basically, if a bullish candle, now remember, because you're in a sale, so the opposite of a sale is a bullish candle.
Yes.
It forms above the ketchup.
Okay.
So if you see here, there's a bullish candle and it formed above the ketchup. Now next week, I'll probably go over like the anatomy of a candlestick. Some people don't realize where they open, where they close, you know, those kinds of things. And that's very important. That candlestick tells you a lot. But we'll get to the point, and I'll probably do it next week. I encourage everyone to let's trade with Hakanashis. It takes all of this frustration out, all of this up and down, indecisive. It's so much easier. It's a clearer view.
Tonya,
Yes,
are we going to set up
Thank you, by the way.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, ma'am.
The EMA, the EMA, are we going to set them on the TradingView platform?
Let me tell y'all, I've used MT4 this whole year and a half. I have really just started in the last month dealing with TradingView. So I'm getting close to where I want to be with knowing TradingView really well enough to teach it. So I'm going to deal with MT4 for another week or so. And then once I'm able to fully educate everyone on TradingView, we'll switch over to that if everyone's okay with that.
Okay.
It's just some things you can't put on MT4 that you can put on TradingView, you know, and it just makes it easier. But we will, now we can go both ways, but some people don't like TradingView. It's a little more, you know, complicated in the beginning to understand. But I'll break it down for you guys so that it's easier to learn.
Okay.
And like I said, I just hope I helped anyone tonight with some simplicity. If you've got any questions, please ask them now.
Yes. Hello, Tonya.
Yes.
Ask you a question. I know when you took your little break, I asked someone in the group about this, but another part of it came to my mind that I know that you were saying about a sell stop, and then you also mentioned a stop loss.
Correct.
Is that all the same, or do they? I also heard about a trailing loss.
Yeah, trailing stop loss. Yeah, we won't get into the trailing right now because people are already confused, you know, and so I want to give it to them in bites that they can swallow. And once you understand the normal stop loss, then we can go to the trailing stop loss.
Okay.
So, you know, we don't want to brain overload, but we'll get there. Okay.
Yeah, no, I seen it today. Yes, I seen it today, and I was just trying to figure out, was they all somewhat similar, or are they different, or what?
They are somewhat similar, but I just don't want y'all to get confused. I want to be able to give it to you really easily, so that you really understand it, and just simplify it. That's what I'm here for. You know, I'm really big into a lot of people don't understand what Six Sigma is, but I practice process improvement, and I save corporations money with simplification. How do we cut out waste in something? So I try to take out the waste in learning.
Good.
And my last thing I wanted to ask, when you asked us about what was our goal about trying to make per day or so.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember, what did you say about that?
Okay, so I would that's your goal. You choose what you want to do. I ask people to set realistic goals, because what happens is if you set a goal and it's not attainable, you become frustrated. So set a goal that you know is attainable, and it's okay to have multiple goals. I have a month goal, a 3-month goal, a 6-month goal, a 1-year goal. You know, it's not just setting one goal. So just know that your 1-year goal encompasses all of those smaller goals below. That's what it takes. That's the process that it takes to get that 1-year goal met. All those other little things that you set yourself up to accomplish all year long.
Gotcha.
So set yourself a goal, you know, whatever it is. Some people, it might be $20 a day, $100, whatever. Be realistic about it. This is not, I'm going to buy a lottery ticket and be wealthy tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So be realistic. You know, do you go to your job and make $500 a day?
No.
Okay, so I think that would be a highly unrealistic goal for a beginning trader. Yeah, that's where you want to be. But when you start out at your job, you don't start out where you finish, you know. So set a realistic goal, and a 1-month goal can be $100 a day, and a 3-month goal can be $300 a day, and a 6-month goal can be $500 a day. My goal is to help you get there ahead of time with as minimal loss as possible. I'm not here to say we're going to help you achieve $10,000 in X amount of time. I can't do that. What I'm going to do is give you the tools that you need to make those decisions and trades to try to achieve your goal. I can only give you the educational platform to be successful.
Well, thank you for taking the time out to definitely teach us.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes, definitely. Thank you so much.
Sure. And everyone, please, you know, reach out in the chat. Dr. Kathy, I don't think she was on. Let her know how it was going. The group has been, I think, silent for some time. And, you know, just let her know how things went. And I would ask everybody to please, you know, send me what you would like to learn, to, you know, where you're struggling, so I can bring it together as a group, as a whole, moving forward. And next week, now that I know where a lot of people is missing a lot of simple things, you know, that's what my problem with IML was. There were simple things that I couldn't ask that question that it would have just answered me right then. Their platform is wonderful. I learned from it, but I always had that question. And I probably would have been a lot further along. Could I have just asked that question and got that answer right then?
Agreed.
Okay.
You
So,
should put our comments in the chat. You mean the off chat?
yes, if you just want to, you know, shout out how the class went tonight, how you liked it, where you would like for it to go. And then you see my name, you can go in there and personally send me a message if you need me. Sometimes I'm a little bit later at responding because right now my mom's been in the unit for a week. They're talking about another week. So when I get off with you guys, I'm going back to the hospital. And then I got a funeral tomorrow, but I have nothing but time to answer. But when she gets home, sometimes I'm a little delayed, not a lot, but I am a little delayed. I do trade wee hours of the morning. I try to get my trading over with, but I will say this, you know, everybody says, oh, you got to trade in the London session. Oh, you got to make your money in London session. That's when it moves the fastest. Yes, it does. But I've done a lot of research and found out that, for example, let's say Euro USD normally, you know, moves 110 pips in the London session. Well, it might not move, but 98 in the New York session. Well, that 7 pips meant a lot to me to be able to be up and trade in the daytime rather than be up at 2 in the morning. You know, so you're going to start to find those kinds of things out from me, you know.
Nice.
Thank you for your sacrifice, Tonya, for your time. Thank you. We really do appreciate it. I do appreciate it.
Yeah,
It's been a blessing. It's a blessing to have you knowledgeable, just bringing tips and encouragement to the group.
So I want to make sure I have a commitment from everyone on this call, the strangest secret, for 21 days.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Remember,
ma'am.
it takes 21 days to create a habit and 90 days to create a lifestyle. So in 90 days, we're gonna have a no 9 to 5 lifestyle.
Yes.
The video on YouTube?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And we're listening to it over and over again for 21 days.
21 days.
Okay, just want to make sure.
Okay. And everybody just reach out. You got any questions, put it in the chat. And I think Shantae had mentioned something earlier in the chat that they're going to start communicating more via Facebook. So I'll have to, figure out how everyone, they'll let us know how that's going to work. So
I'm
the chat
sorry.
is,
Can you hear me?
yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Okay, so as far as the Facebook, that's mainly for when we get up and trade at 3 o'clock in the morning. Dr. Kathy is going to try to get back to a little bit more of team trading just for her team. So it's more of a security thing. So we do want everyone over there so they can get that. But as far as the O.F.F group is concerned and anything that y'all do, it's strictly within your group. And the only place that I put, and you can start putting the Zoom information, but this is going to be your Zoom link. So it's only for your group. Please do not give it to anyone else, because if they're not in the group, they cannot be on this. And this is anything that y'all are going to need that pertains to you will go in your group.
Okay,
so you're good on that part.
In this group, right? In the off group.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Miss Tonya.
Yes.
Someone asked a question was, is we having this meeting every Wednesday or every week, or what day?
Yes, we're gonna have it on Wednesdays unless it doesn't work for someone, and the time frame doesn't work.
Wednesdays I go to church from 8 to 9:30.
And is that Eastern time or?
Eastern time, yeah, Eastern time. I didn't go today because I wanted to be here on the chat because it was the first one.
I tell you what, we could look at moving it to maybe a Thursday.
Yeah, if everybody agrees, I don't mind.
That's fine with me.
I know Wednesday's a church night, so it had just been on Wednesday. That's why we picked it up on Wednesday. I don't have a problem with Thursday, if no one else does.
I'm fine with it.
I'm fine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Shantae, so I don't know how long you had a chance to be on, but I hope everyone got some information that's helpful tonight.
I've already got some comments, and apparently you are a hidden gem, and they just absolutely love you. So we're good on that. So this is now your baby. So yeah, I'm excited. I'm happy for everyone. I'm loving it. I didn't get to listen to a whole lot of it, but I'm gonna watch this YouTube video myself. I just happened to see that Miss Tonya McWilliams, I think it was, posted the YouTube link, so I did put it in the O.F.F group. But yes, I'm so excited for everyone. Hey, Mother Gayla. But yes, so as far as I'm concerned, they're loving you.
I will let you know, next week we won't do the London breakout, but the following week we will, because I feel like they need some more material. But I know you want to be on for that, unless you and I can get together before then.
Yes.
But it's been a success all week. That's been my thing the whole time. So it's so similar to the box strategy I just gave them, but we'll go more in depth with the box next week. And I gave them I stole sort of some from Adrian on the ketchup and mustard, just simplified it, and put my own strategy taste to it, but used his ketchup and mustard, and hopefully it simplified it and helped them. And we're going to be, working with the basics for a while. So I think they're really going to progress from this.
Yes.
So I don't know if you got to hear about The Strangest Secret, but everyone's committed to 21 days of The Strangest Secret by Earl Nightingale. And it's a great, great, great thing to listen to, and it will help you grow so much.
Well, I'm gonna jump in on that 90 days and that 3 weeks, that 21 days. I'm up for that. I'm game. Oh,
I put it on every night. I put it on when I go to bed, and that's what I listen to, and it's amazing. So we're no 9 to 5 here.
Amen. Okay. All right.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate your time. And like I said, just reach out to me if you have any questions.
Thank you, Tonya. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thanks, Shante.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very, very
Thank
welcome.
you.
Y'all have an awesome night.
All right.
I'll
You
see
too.
some of y'all at 3 a.m.
Okay.